Welcome to this new video from the ASAR 3D channel. Today we will see how to use 17 nodes to create and manipulate texts in Blender. For starters, we're going to turn a cruel text into a love letter by removing parts of the text. To do this, we will make sure that we can select only the lines of text that interest us. Let's start by adding a text and a node tree to create an animation. Now let's add a text object node to create an output and a join texts node to be able to link our texts to the output. Do not forget to activate the text field of the text object output node. Let's add another split text node to be able to separate our text lines and a text file reader node which will allow us to read a text file of our choice. Now let's select a text file. You can change the way to encode in UTF-8 if the characters you are using cannot be read in ASCII. The text is displayed on one line. To remedy this, let's add a character node and connect the line break to the join texts node. The text is now displayed on several lines. We are now going to hide the lines that we do not want to be displayed. Let's add a mask list node and a Boolean input node to be able to deselect the extra lines. A create Boolean list node was also added automatically. Let's create as many inputs as necessary and deselect every other box. The text is now nicer, isn't it? We will now see how to modify this movie line by replacing a word in a text with another. Let's start with the basic nodes that we created earlier. To vary, let's use a create text list node which allows us to add sentences directly in Blender without using an external file. Now let's write our text. Let's add the replace text node and enter the text to be replaced with a new one. The text is now changed. Have you seen the movie Tenet? I now suggest you see how easy it is to create the Sator square with Blender by reversing the letters of the words. Let's start with our basic nodes and this time add a text block reader node. In the editor, let's create a new text block and add some words. Now let's add a change text case node and see what happens when we change the options. Finally, let's add the reverse text node. As you can see, the whole text is reversed and new words appear almost by accident. When you were little, did your teacher force you to write the same sentence 100 times to punish yourself? With Blender is no longer a punishment, but a game. Always starting with our basic nodes, we will add a split text node to be able to display our text by lines. We now add the repeat text node and enter the text we want to repeat. Let's take some time to test the options of the split text node. We enter a point in the split field. This is the point that will tell Blender when to move on to the next line. All that remains is to indicate in the repeat field the number of times the sentence should be repeated. No more punishment. Finally, I want to show you how to break words down into separate letters so that you can process them individually later. Start by selecting the text object output node, press the N key and activate the font selection. We're going to need it. Now let's take care of the Decompose text node and add some text to it. This node will be used to break down the text into a series of characters. Now we link a font to the Decompose text and text object output nodes. I remind you that, within the framework of the node animation, Blender cannot use the default font. Alright, now we're going to create one text per letter using the object instancer node. Connect the Decompose text and text object output nodes to the object instancer node as shown on the screen. Indicate in the object instance node the name of the text to instantiate. Check the deep copy box to see all instances. You can see in the scene collection on the right that instances have been created. We are now going to create a matrix so that we can display the letters one after the other. Connect the nodes as shown and hide the original text which is no longer useful. This linking suite allows you to move the text according to the default settings of the Compose matrix node. You can also test other combinations by activating the parameters of this node. The matrix math node connects your Decompose text with the Compose text node. Finally, the object matrix output node allows you to view the matrices. Letters can now be managed independently and you can change their settings as you like. Thanks you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates. Other types of videos are available on my channel.